Welcome back to Life of the Wild Ride. It's a drizzly day out there today. Mom is home. She's doing good. I wouldn't say great, but she's doing good. She's going to get most of her use back in that leg, but when she's tired, she really has a hard time using it. So the stroke basically affected her right side and mainly her right leg. But today, we're hoping to do a little bit of bus stuff. We picked up a sheet of plywood and we're going to use that for starting to build the kitchen cabinets on this side of the bus. We got this in place. We still got some work to do on it, but the general gist of it is in here. The sink's in. I think you saw that video. Things have been a bit hectic here the past couple weeks, so I'm not sure what I've released and what I haven't released. But we are going to be working on this cabinet here, so I did opt to go and spend the money and buy a sheet of plywood to do the side, because this side is going to have drawers in it, and I wanted a good base that we can mount hardware to and all that, and not have to do what we did on this side, which was using bits and pieces that overlap each other. Would not be very good for putting drawer hardware and stuff like that. So we spent the 30 bucks or something over here, which I hate doing because we're really trying to make this out of reclaimed, recycled stuff as much as possible, but there are times we have to buy some stuff to make it a little bit easier for us. Enough babbling. Tracy's just picking up some stuff here. I got to go cut the plywood. Again, like I said, it's been a bit since we've been on the bus, but I forgot I cut out this piece out of pegboard here, which I believe is what we needed. We just held it up in the bus to make sure. It's got the toe kick cut out and everything. So I can use this as my template for this sheet of plywood that we bought here. So that's what we're going to do. I need 4 of these, and geez, you know, I might be able to get a 5th one. I don't know. So I'm going to mess around with this to get the most use out of this piece of plywood I possibly can. So we'll work around 2 different angles here and see what we can do to get that, and we'll draw it all out and then make the cuts. All right, so we got the first one cut out here. Toe kick and all that. We're going to go ahead and we'll mark up another one, and we did it going this way, like this, basically one there, one here, one there, one here, and that'll allow us to have a 5th one if we want as well. If we did it the other way, we would get 4, which is what I wanted originally, but then we'd have a long strip of plywood up at that end over there, where Tracy's showing, and it would not be big enough for another one of these panels if we want to put a 5th one in. So we'll go ahead and draw these out now. I didn't want to cut up into the next one. Alright, that's 2. 2 more to go. Alright, so we have the 4 that we cut out, and we have enough wood to cut a 5th one if we want. So I just got them temporarily here with, you know, just a pipe here holding and a couple clamps just holding them. We're trying to determine the spacing. We are going to have a drop-in cooktop. No, we're not. We're going to have an oven. We're doing the oven. See, we're still designing this as we go. We flip-flopped our plans many times. So in that case, that first one has to be the width of the oven. So again, if you're building this is some of the things you have to do. You have to think. I am not a yes, we do plan this stuff out, but I'm not going to sit here and draw all this out on paper. I've talked about this in other videos. It's just not my style. We had a pretty good idea of what we wanted to do with the bus, and we knew along the way we were going to make adjustments based on what we ended up putting in the bus. Now, we went back and forth on a stove with an oven probably 10 times now, and we went back and forth on a refrigerator versus like an apartment style and a 12-volt refrigerator. We've gone back and forth on that. So we didn't want to sit and wait until we made our final decision to start building. So we started building, and then when we got to those points, we just really sat and thought about it and ironed it out. So we were going with the apartment fridge. That's why you see that opening with a microwave on top. And now recently we have talked back and forth about an oven or just a cooktop and using a convection microwave. But I think we finally decided on a regular RV oven and cooktop, because we do use our oven a lot in the house. And I know when we've gone camping we didn't use the oven a lot, but if we're living in this, I suspect we will use the oven. We'll have to do some research, determine how wide it needs to be, and even if we don't have it right, as long as it's wide enough, we can close it into the oven spacing without a problem. The other thing I've started to talk about is the width of these, because one of these sections is going to be a bank of drawers, and that'll be the only drawers in the bus, pretty much as far as kitchen-wise. So we just want to get our spacing right to what we think is going to go in those drawers. So we're just sitting here while you're watching us to kind of think it through, staring at it, and determine. Now, the other thing is on this end right here, it's going to end like it does with this one, but this one is just a square countertop. Over here, there's going to be a protrusion or an island or a flip-up piece, because this is where we will sit, like a little bar area, to do most of our eating most of the time. That's how we do it in the house. We have a little bar top thing. It's little, it's like a foot wide, and we sit there more often than not and eat all our meals. So why reinvent the wheel? We're next to each other. We can shoot the breeze, eat as close to the stove, close to the sink when we're done. So that adds another added dimension to this, because the countertop will overhang this by at least a foot, and then there'll be a piece off of that that flips up to add, so there's enough room here for us to sit side by side. So we got to think about that. So I'm not sure the drawers would make sense in the first section, because part of that is going to be our overhang where we eat. I don't know. We're just kind of thinking out loud here. So bear with us. I'm going to shut this off, do some more thinking out loud, and see if we can determine how we're going to do this. All right, so we just decided to come in the house here. That's my daughter, Coral. You don't see her much in the videos. So this is the countertop that we sit and eat at. So we're coming in here. She's running off. We'll come in here. Nobody cares. So this is what we're talking about. We sit here, and this is where we eat. So we're trying to take some measurements to make sure we make it as small as possible, but still comfortable. So we're just sitting down here. No. So what we're trying to determine is, what is the overhang here when we sit? So not even 10 inches. And my God, that's plenty. My knees are still not even hitting underneath here. This is what we're looking at. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of dark. Just looking to see how close our knees are and how much the overhang is from the last support out here. And we have not even 10 inches. And my knees got 2 inches in front of them.
Even if we pulled up all the way, my legs are now touching.
I'm just, plenty of room here. And this, okay, so.
My knees are touching.
So we could probably do a 9-inch overhang.
Yeah.
And that would be plenty, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we just thought we'd bring you inside here and kind of show you what we're replicating. Now, the difference would be, this is a higher, these bar stools are higher. They're not like, our counter is down here, and then this is like a raised back that we pretty much can sit at here. That will not be the case in the bus. This will continue the same height of the counter in the bus and just keep it on going. And we're just going to use shorter bar stools. Yeah, we have a shorter one over there. So basically, after that measurement, we only have to come out 9 inches for overhang. All right, let's go back to the bus and see what we can do. Here's another angle from the kitchen. Here's the top we're talking about. There's Tracy, you know her, and there's Coral. And she has, what is it?
Bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon. That she's babysitting for her boyfriend that's in the service. Thank you for service, Nick. Stay safe. Anyway, so this is what we're trying to replicate here. But again, it'll continue all the way, one height all the way.
If you had to tax that, it's on you.
So this stool is the one without the extensions. And it is the perfect height for our regular countertop out here on the bus. I was just testing it out. So basically now we know this needs to be 9 inches back from the end of the counter. We can have a 9-inch overhang and have plenty of room for our knees and room to sit at. Just out of curiosity, I wonder how much of an overlap this one is. That's, so about the same as in the house, just shy of 10 inches. So we must have measured it when we did this side too. Who knows? That was like a long time ago. Basically the same thing over here. And now we can place this final one where it needs to be and then determine the space of the middle ones afterwards. After much deliberating between Tracy and I, figuring out what we're going to do. So we remembered this is where we have our outlet and our USB and all this stuff. So we're not putting the oven here, and it actually works out good because one thing I forgot is I wanted counter space on each side of the oven. And if we put the oven here in the first spot, there's no counter to the right because this is going to be a microwave. So we're going to narrow this up, make this a cupboard, and then we'll drill a hole in the back of the countertop here to have the few things that we'll be using these outlets for right there. Oven will be here, stove and oven. Then we are going to cut a fifth one of these, put it here. This will be the bank of drawers in this section, and another cupboard here, and this is the overhang we'll eat at for the bar. So that's what we're going to do, and we're looking at probably now we're determining, do we want an RV oven cooktop or a full apartment size 20 inches wide that's top to bottom, a freestanding unit that slides right in, and I think that's what we're going to go with because it gives you a little bit bigger oven. And so you can cook more stuff in it that way. Plus you have the cabinet underneath you. I don't have to actually build a cabinet. It's already part of the stove. And we can just slide it right in, trim it out, and be done with it. I need to go over because we have a visiting nurse coming to help with Mom. So I'm going to be heading out. And I think my wife and daughter are going to the grocery store. And there you have it. So we might end this video here and pick up a little bit later on doing some other stuff. So don't forget, have a great day. And remember, life is a wild ride. We'll see you in the next video.
So,
what's the matter with you?
he's on lunch. He says he's doing good. Running away from your camera.